I remember when life was better. I remember like I've been alive forever. I remember being born in abundance you never measure. Predecessor from the epicenter, the genetic mecca. I'm a representative of the metal netter. You dead if you never met her. The devil he never fed her. I protect the treasure than the present center. Kemetic was never desert. Do the rain dance, make the weather wetter. A crown is a head antenna. Call me Imhotep, the architect. I'm clever, break a temple down and put it back together. I remember I was royalty, from the soil where the oil be. Never let the bigger man in me grow from the little boy in me. Been a victim of my loyalty, let my ego kill the joy in me. That's what ended up destroying me. I forgot the Lord anointed me. I forgot that I was God. I forgot that I was free. I forgot that I was king of the jungle until I remembered I'm me. She forgot that she was God. She forgot that she was free. She was stuck up in this slumber so long she forgot she was ever.
Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Productions. This your host, Father Rich. Ain't been out here with Red Pill in Harlem, the streets. The people get to see. They get to see New York City. The people walk by. Red, welcome back, my brother.
Peace, peace. Happy solstice.
Yes, this is the solstice, ain't it?
It damn sure is.
You know, we were just thinking about what we're going to talk about, and I was like, Red, let's just flow. And I want to get into the whole reparations thing.
Facts.
But before we get into that, there's something going on with waging war during the solstice that you just mentioned, and you mentioned on Instagram. So Bobby Hemmett talked about things like that. Dr. Valentine talked about it. What's the science of waging a war? Because Donald Trump and the whole Iran thing, and you got evidence of the past when they waged war. What's that? What science is that, Red?
Well, the war on terror that is still being waged, you know, it hasn't subsided. It is what is known as a perpetual war. Translation of perpetual war means that it's a war with no end to it. Anybody that's in the armed services or armed forces can attest to the doctrine of perpetual war. The USA is currently in a perpetual war. So the war on terror has no ending to it. It was officially launched 2003 on the exact day of the spring equinox, okay? So we find ourselves 16 years later where yesterday we almost was at the brink of World War III, right? Because if Iran shot down the USA, the drone that the US spy drone, a $20 million spy drone that they were flying over restricted airways and whatnot, the minute Donald Trump or the warmongers or the war hawks in Washington decide to strike back, that begins the official World War III, because once they try to bang on Iran, that automatically puts China and Russia and Turkey and other players or actors inside of this war theater in direct play, and henceforth this is the beginning of this perpetual war. So the ritual that we see with them launching wars during the equinox is the fact that they're tapping in to the energy of, you know, the changing of the seasons, the changing of the gods. You know, whatever they do things, they do it specifically on these dates. Why they would do it on the spring equinox, why they would launch war on the summer equinox, you know, you gotta do more research into their Roman gods and their Greek folklore and whatnot. So,
well, you know, I mean, like I think we mentioned this before. Hitler was so much into the cult. He went every ancient site in the world, looking for some, like trying to get some secret technology or trying to figure this or trying to figure that, or like
Dual Society.
the Dual Society. Like these dudes is into occult shit heavy, bro.
Yes.
Like they look at us like we crazy, and we talking about full moons and when the full moon is in Scorpio and what was that thing that happened, the great eclipse? But
the Great American Eclipse.
Yeah, like these dudes, they into this hard, man, like real hard, man.
I mean, we study people who are at war, warmongers and warriors. So how could I have a conversation with a warrior about significance of these quote unquote? I'm not even entertaining that. I'm focusing on those who are at war. These people they getting banged on. They victims of war. So how could they even speak about? They don't even know what's going on. So, you know, it's almost a disqualification at the end of the day, because they not the ones waging these wars. You feel me?
Indeed.
They're not the ones, you know.
Indeed. Well, let's talk a little bit about what everybody's talking about right now, reparations, and
form of war.
Yeah, as usual. I mean, they came out. Elizabeth Warren, who's a Democratic candidate, came out and said that she believes gays deserve reparations because all the years they was denied marriage, they was denied insurance or something of that nature. You got what's his name? Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah,
Mitch
there's no need. I don't even have to be respectful enough to, you know. But he basically say we got Obama. That's our reparation. Like, how disrespectful is that? Then you got Laura Ingraham. What did she say?
She said that they waged the war.
Oh, they won, we lost.
And we won and you lost. Get over it.
Bro.
That right there, while people want to focus on Iran, I don't even know nobody from Iran. Right. That's a declaration right there. That's not just you know, if they're gonna ban LeVar Ball from ESPN for his racy comments, she needs a complete lifetime ban, not only from Fox 5, but from everywhere where there's a microphone. She's putting her race at risk with that statement. Do you realize that? That's beyond yellow journalism. She's that is a middle finger, spit, a urination on the graves of the lynched brothers and sisters who were lynched, the ancestors who died on those plantations, right? And other people who were inflicted by white terrorism. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they running wild I mean, come on, bro.
What did you think about the brother who was on at the congressional hearing, Coates? What's his name?
Oh, Ta-Nehisi Coates?
Yeah. What did you think about that brother?
Well,
because no, and this is why I asked that. Because as far as reparations and the energy that moved and pushed this forward, we were fortunate enough to know the energy behind it, the ADOS movement.
That's right.
And we seen it get co-op. We seen the narrative try to get changed right on the Breakfast Club, right on CNN. It was like crazy to see all this shit happen in real time. But I seen, what's the name, Yvette Carnell. I seen Tone Talks. I seen Tariq Nasheed. I see them from the bottom get this reparations thing going. And then I see where it's at now. That shit is unbelievable. So, of course, we don't see them represented at the congressional hearing. So that's why I asked, what do you think about what this brother's saying?
I would say out of all of the participants who could be somewhat qualified to intellectually rebut, to introduce an intellectual rebuttal, because keep in mind, this argument is a part of intellectual warfare. Okay? They are intellectually going to war with you, saying that, look, we're going to throw these talking points at you and you don't have anybody that's going to rebut these talking points. So once you cannot rebut the talking points, it's almost as if those talking points go get logged in to quote unquote, that's the rest of their talking points. So what Mitch McConnell said, who is the Senate majority, he's basically the House Speaker. He speaks for white America. He speaks for the Republicans. He's the longest running member in U.S. history inside of that inside of that body politic. So if he makes a statement, you have to intellectually rebut that statement. So Ta-Nehisi Coates, who put out an article through the Atlantic, he's an intellectual. His pen game is kind of serious, and he put out an article years ago where he made the case for reparations and whatnot. In my humble opinion, he's qualified to sit at that panel and rebut, and he did an excellent job at rebutting what was said by basically, you know, bringing some smoke to Mitch McConnell and whatnot, and then making the case and things of that nature. I would have loved to see the individuals. I would have loved to see Claude Anderson up there, first and foremost, before anybody. I would have loved to see the elder Claude Anderson represented and being able to do what he's been doing off camera, on camera, outside of Capitol Hill, you know, in lecture halls and things of that nature. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, I was looking forward to somebody showing up. I saw a lot of ADOS people wearing T-shirts, but those leaders, the names that you mentioned, they were not present. And I would have loved to see them just on Capitol Hill, just to show face. You know what I'm talking about? Just to show face. You don't know what will happen when you show up. You don't know. But I know what will happen when you don't show up. So the brother made a good point. He made some good talking points. And yeah, that's about it.
You know, this topic, which people have been talking about the whole year, like I said, it started from, you know, a grassroots energy, and we've seen this shift the whole Democratic Party.
That's a fact.
We've seen the Democratic Party be focused, and they're like, yeah. And then when this reparations-ish came in, it shook their foundation.
That's a fact. That's
so
a
with that
factory.
being said, Red, what I want to ask you, my brother, is how do you feel about Sheila Jackson Lee, a first-generation Jamaican immigrant, being on the Civil Rights Subcommittee? A lot of people feel as though what we call our Caribbean brothers and sisters don't have the same passion for reparations as so-called African Americans do, because obviously their ancestors did not go through what we went through in this country.
That's right.
So how do you feel about Sheila Jackson Lee being the only black person on this Civil Rights Subcommittee, and being the only black person not even being an American descendant of slavery at that, my brother?
What, everybody else is Europeans?
Yeah, a lot of Europeans. Let me show you.
Yeah.
If you can see that. Yeah.
Oh, well, then you know what's about to happen. That's a complete farce. You know what I mean? That's a peanut gallery. You know, anybody who should be representing our people should be our people. We got enough problems with our people, foundational black Americans, being coons as it is.
No, but our people would say she is our people. Then some of our people would say she's our people, but she doesn't. This is not her fight.
Well, when it comes to that fight right there, and to be honest with you, you know, I have hang-ups about civil rights. You know, I have my hang-ups about civil rights. I don't see the efficiency in the whole civil rights thing. I think that's a farce. But when it comes to representing picking somebody from our race to represent us, or our quote-unquote nation that's not really a nation to represent us, of course it would have to be somebody that's foundational black American, and not somebody that is first generation from the quote-unquote islands and whatnot. That's a misrepresentation. No offense to the sister, but that is definitely a misrepresentation. You feel me?
Indeed, indeed.
She got work to do. Her work should be focused on repairing Jamaica, because Jamaica has some repairing to do based off of what the Crown did over there. You feel me? There's a lot of work to do on that island. There's a mineral-rich island that's going through third world crises right now. Poverty, violence, and all kind of things. It's a narco state. So yeah, she got work to do for Jamaica. You know what I'm talking about?
Indeed, indeed. As far as the climate right now, we continuously are seeing All these police videos, we're still seeing it. Like, it's like we said this before. I mean, it's to the point where I think they just had to fire about 52.
20.
Well, how many?
Philly, 20.
Philly, yeah. You sure it was just 20?
As when I saw the report, it might have jumped up because the investigation was ongoing. But they had to lay off about 20 of them. But go ahead.
So I mean, as far as like, there seems to be no improvement in terms of what's going on between police relations with the so-called black community. We probably thought, a lot of black people probably thought that once video surfaces of what's going on, we will get a lot more sympathy. That doesn't appear to be the case.
That's naivety.
Yeah. So what's
Fine of the highest order.
What do you think is the next step right now? Us seeing that it ain't about just Obama. Now it's Obama in office. Now Trump in office. Same thing. We seeing it all over the place because everybody had a camera phone. This shit been happening. What's the next step right now, Red Pill?
All right. It's goody. All right. Yes. My African brother. Yes.
Yeah, because this is crazy. The police in Phoenix, Jay-Z just hired lawyers for the sister in Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't want to break the bad news to the family, but you know, here it goes. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe. The quote unquote, what is that? The Fraternal Order of Police, right? The FOP. They've declared war on the culture. It's a culture war taking place in America right now. What is the culture? The culture is hip hop. What is hip hop translated? Niggas. What is niggas translated to? They are committing what was committed before in Reconstruction. They are committing what was committed before in quote unquote the post abolitionists, where everybody's celebrating Juneteenth, but then the violence and the murders and the lynchings and the terrorism trumped up after that. They are sticking to the script. They see, the sloppy ones are on social media. The focused ones are on the deep and the dark web, sitting around pictures, murder pictures. I used to have a girlfriend way long time ago. Her father was a detective. When I was 18, I used to go over her house and she used to show me the book of bodies, right? The father was in the police force and he had a humongous picture book of dead people, right? And she would show me all of the pictures of the dead people,
that sounds
of
weird.
The crime scenes. I know it's wild, weird and whatnot, but she was trying to show me not to cheat on her because her father was the popo and this is the kind of shit that he deals with every day, right? So this is something that they do for quote unquote pleasure, for laughs. They're on the deep web sending pictures. I just saw a report of a man in Atlanta who got shot 56 times and he got 76 bullet exit wounds. He's the reason why Atlanta PD backed out of working with the task force, this compromise of local police and federal agents, because they won't wear body cams, and they are the ones who pumped 56 bullets into a man who had no police record and he was unarmed. But anyway, these officers are putting out hits. These officers are basically purging. These officers are out here catching stains. That's what they say in the hood. When you catch a body, my nigga, they out here catching stains. And they get rewarded for it. They get GoFundMes. They get acquitted. The officer from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who murked a pastor, right? Terrence Clutch, her whole record got expunged. That's not even on her record anymore. She got acquitted of the murder and all of that is expunged. So she could go back to work. It could never be used against her. And this is the case for goddamn 90% of the police officers. The other 10%, like the black brother or the black officer in Minnesota with the Muslim name who killed the European woman, he got, how many years did he get? I think he got about 15 years. So there's a few of them that they're gonna send up when they go against protocol. But as for the rest of them, my niggas, let's stop playing games. It's called trauma porn. And it's running black America's lives right now because it used to be called snuff films. Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, my guy, rest in peace, the brother in Staten Island that got choked out.
Gardner, Eric Gardner. Eric Gardner.
Yeah, you understand? Those are called snuff films, and they cause trauma and PTSD in young black men, and in black men, period, and in black women. And it's a cause of stress, cancer, all kind of things, schizophrenia, mental disorders, health disorders, people beginning to lose it and whatnot. People taken to alcoholism, crack, PCP, opiums, you name it. So, I don't even know what to say about that. It's not going to stop. You understand? It's not going to stop. There's numerous, and we open this up talking about the war. Man, listen. I've been doing my research. I'm talking about the majority of the massacres that happened, the Red Summer, the draft riots, Wilmington, North Carolina, where they carried out a massacre and committed a coup d'etat on American soil. What is a coup d'etat? They basically switched the government over in real time. They took a black government out of power. It was called a fusion government. It was black Republicans and what is known as, what was the party of the Europeans? I forgot. But they came together and it was called a fusion party. The white Democrats, or Democrats as they were called, committed a coup d'etat in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1898, and that was the first coup d'etat on American soil, and they basically disposed of a black government and they erected what is known as the Solid South. Niggas nowadays call it white supremacy, and that shit has been reigning supreme in the, they turned the lights off on the South. And who did they kill? They killed politicians, they killed entrepreneurs, they killed wealthy black men and women and things of that nature. Business owners. Do you know that the majority of the lynchings were business owners? They killed a man who had 400 acres of land. I just talked about it on my Third Eye Thursday last night. So what I'm saying is, who was defending our people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street race riots? Black soldiers. Who was they riding on in quote unquote the Red Summer? Black soldiers. Who was they riding on during the draft riots? Black men are about to be soldiers. So what am I saying? I'm saying that for all of that blood, sweat, and tears that our people done put in for Uncle Sam, and what happens when the riots pop off? Who do they call in? They call in the National Guard and the Army. And what happens? Niggas get killed. Go and do the research. So the same army that you niggas are fighting for and strapping up and getting ready to go to Iran for is the same army that been killing you. Facts.
They will call them. You're saying they will call them on us as fast as they called them on Iran or whoever else. They'll
declare a state of emergency, right? A national a state of emergency. They'll lock the borders down. They'll lock the highways down, and they'll send in the troops, and the troops commence to killing. The Watts riots, the Red Summer, the draft riot. I'm talking about it. It's nonstop. And who is a part of these armies? Militias. Who are the militias? Who you think? It's the KKK. It's all of these groups. It's all of these race soldiers. So the same quote-unquote forces that y'all riding with, y'all pledging allegiance to, you're risking your life for that GI Bill, is the same ones who are out here killing you. That is a fact.
Red, I'm gonna do an interview soon with Black Dot. I was with Black Dot the other day.
Salute to Dot. Salute to Malcolm.
Shout out to Dot, Malcolm.
Oba. Salute to his family. Urban X. Saw his daughter won the prom queen.
Yes.
Salute. Yeah.
Shout out to that young queen.
Yes.
The name of it might be called "We Are Losing the Emotional War." I want to ask, it's a double question. I want to start off by asking, how are you emotionally right now, my brother, being that the people look up to you as a thought leader? I first want to ask you, how are you emotionally right now, my brother, with everything going on in society and in your personal life? How are you emotionally handling this? And number two, we know that metaphysically speaking, we was talking about the occult earlier. The brain takes everything, is like Tesla said, everything is vibration and frequency. So what the brain does, and this is some science, family, the brain takes the vibration and frequency within us, and it gives us a holographic reality. That's right. It produces a holographic reality.
What you believe you perceive?
What you believe you perceive, in other words. Emotion, a lot of people say, is energy, emotion. With that being said, we get fed, you just said trauma porn, you just said snuff film. We know our emotions is probably our most important asset. If we're going to talk about assets and liabilities, our emotional state is our most important asset, and it's the one that's compromised the most continuously. Talk to me about the importance of our emotional state, my brother, and also how are you emotionally, my brother?
Well, me, first of all, emotionally, which translates to energy, emotion.
Yes.
I'm an ocean. You understand? It would be almost facetious of me to get up here and say I'm one emotion at all times, right? Like I got a complete grip on this shit. No, that's not the case. You understand? The way that I go is I've been emotionally affected by the psyops that have been taking place. I've been able to shield myself from the psyops, which is a psychological operation, which is what is taking place via the media, through social media, through mainstream media, through other forms of media. We just did a lecture in Texas with Professor Griff called Fear of a Black Planet Part 2, the media manipulation on the melanin mind. The way that I'm able to fortify my mind, right? Because my mind, it's the doorway to my emotions, okay? My heart still feels for the brothers and sisters who die untimely deaths and who are being executed and things of that nature, but it's my mind that's fortified that allows me to control my emotions by being in a mourning state or in grief. What I'm doing is I'm taking that and I'm using it as fuel to empower me to continue in my studies and to continue on this journey that I'm on, because if it were not the case, and one of the powers of consciousness translates to awareness, and one of the powers of studying, one of the powers of researching, and one of the powers of being aware of what's going on is that it doesn't affect you when it happens. So if I was ignorant to the ways and means, if I was ignorant to what the hell was going on and why it was going on, if I was looking at Europeans as my savior, if I had one of their own as my quote-unquote savior, God savior, then I would be completely twisted in this game. If I was thinking that we were in a post-Obama racial society and I'm running around with my Becky and whatnot thinking that the coast is clear, yeah, I would be messed up. But based off of my studies, based off of my master teachers who bestowed me with the information and the testicular fortitude to stand up to all of the shit that's going on, I'm Gucci. Pardon me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm good. You understand? I'm able to balance my emotions. Out of the two, red and the blue, I would be known as the more emotional one. You know what I'm talking about? I'm kind of fiery, but that's just my nature.
Fiery is emotion. That's an emotion.
That's my emotions. I have passion, and that passion, the passion that I'm able to share with the world, you know, it's a passion that's recognized and appreciated. So, yeah, you know, that's the case. What was the second question?
What advice would you give to our people? Because our people, we sleep on the power of our emotions because we don't know the science of the universe. We don't know the shit Tesla knew, Dr. Valentine, Dr. Oyibo.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry. I almost forgot. This is a piece of the conversation that I cannot leave out of that. If it were not for love, we want to talk about emotions? If I was not cloaked in a level of love that I receive from those who love me, I probably would have gone mad. And I don't even want to put that out there like that because I'm exposing myself. But if it were not for the love, then I would not have the shield. I would be susceptible to all kind of malware. I would be susceptible to all kind of attacks. Nigga, my stalkers look like JJ Walker. You know what I'm talking about? I would be susceptible to all kind of attacks if it were not for the love, the unconditional love that I receive from my progeny, and the unconditional love that I receive from people who love me. That shields me, that protects me, that lets me know if I did not see my mama smiling, my father proud of me. I've been through times where they were not. So knowing that, I'm like, I'm Gooch. If anything happens to me at any time in this journey, I know that my legacy is fortified. So I go to sleep very comfortable. You dig what I'm saying? I don't jump out of my sleep in cold sweats. I'm good. So what would I tell the family? Love yourself, but most of all, love your people. If I didn't love us, this shit would not be as easy as it is. Do you know the sacrifice? Do you know the weight? Do you know the pressure? Do you know the horror story that comes with consciousness? But if it were not for the love that I received over the years from individuals who I let into my life, man, I would be finished. So y'all gotta find a level of, you gotta find something to love. You have to look into your children's eyes and look and see yourself. You gotta see something greater than you in them. And then you gotta decide what the hell, what kind of mission can I get on that's gonna fortify and is gonna help them in their mission to be greater than me. You just can't be like, they're gonna be greater than me and just leave them be. What are you doing actively to make sure that they're greater than you? What am I doing? I'm trying to clean this shit up so they don't have to inherit this toxic, poisoned, you know what I'm talking about, bizarro, upside down reality that keeps flipping upside down every goddamn day. I wanna create an alternative reality for them. So get into the sciences. The science is gonna remove you from the emotion. Get into the history, get into the heritage. Once I realized that our people was not subservient help, like the slave porn was teaching me, I was like, oh, we was putting on in the 1800s. We was clean. I didn't know that. Oh, we had cities and towns and whatnot. Oh, when I went and did the research on Africa and I realized it wasn't a bunch of mud huts and shanty towns, I was like, oh, it restored the love. Because the love was lost when I was ignorant. So how do you bring love back? Get on your knowledge, because ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is hate. You can't have love in your heart and hate at the same time. Ignorance is hate. Knowledge is going to bring you into love.
A person may hear us, Red, and they hear you, obviously they hear you talking way more than me, and they may say, Red, you just said that, but Red, I think you hate white people. I think you hate the police. What would be your response to that?
The response to that would be...
Let me talk.
Not yet, right.
Can I talk?
Let me finish and then you can get on.
Finish.
All right?
Oh,
you stand right
good,
here. Yeah, hold me down.
We on
Yes.
camera.
Yes.
They was good. They was good to the camera. What's the
See the
response?
power of love? We're talking about love right now.
Love.
So this is what I would say.
L-O-V-E.
Facts. That the love that I have for my people, the love that I have for my race, the love that I have for truth and justice does not translate to any kind of hate.
At all.
You dig?
You dig.
So for those who feel like I might hate or there's some kind of hate, no, that's your insecurities talking to you. You dig what I'm saying? I love my people. So whatever police brutality is taking place towards my people or whatever injustices are taking place towards my people, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to speak against that. Is that right?
What's so going on over here?
That's right.
What's up?
What's happening?
It's my birthday.
All right?
Follow me on the gram, @BuyHerBucks_. I'm in school. I'm in school. Oh, love. Something about love. Fuck love. Get money. Fuck these niggas.
Listen to her.
Listen.
Like sangria.
I love my black people, but
What's the segment on? What's the question?
I don't know. I'm just drunk. Can we go to El Porto to take this?
Yeah.
I'm out.
All right, y'all. Later. Nah. We gotta go. We gotta. Yeah. We gotta do it. Yeah.
Talking about some no.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
Well, y'all can follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
My Instagram is Heavzilla, HEAVZILLA. He won't give me a microphone, but I am loud. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
See y'all.
All right. You too, sis. All right. Y'all be safe. Indeed. Right? And because you have to understand that love comes with patience. You understand? Hate is a short fuse. Hate is zero tolerance. Hate is not being able to, the sister said that she was wet. I registered that, but it's still love, right? So that's what it is. So the love that I have for my people may be misinterpreted that I may have hate. But let me tell you something about hate, right? I'm 43, right? I only got a little bit of wrinkles on my face. What does hate do? Hate ages you. Hate remains and makes your heart heavy. My master teachers and those who came before me said, man, know thyself and make sure that your heart is light as a feather. So the only thing that could do that is love. It's not hate will make your heart as heavy as a stone, as a rock, as a boulder. That's a fact. So I don't have hate. I don't have time to hate. You know what I'm talking about? I don't have time to hate. I've observed and I've recognized that there's some hatred and there's some jealousy and there's some envy towards my people because of what we possess and who we are and who we're not. But I will never let that transform me. There's an old saying, it says, you cannot become what you despise the most. I despise them, but I don't hate them. All right?
Indeed, my brother. Well, leave the people with your contact info, my brother. They definitely appreciate your time and your energy.
You already.
And your energy, your emotion. Talk to them, families.
I remember when life was better. I remember like I've been alive forever. I remember being born in abundance you never measure. Predecessor from the epicenter, the genetic mecca. I'm a representative of the metal netter. You dead if you never met her. The devil, he never better. I protect the treasure than the present center. Kemet was never desert. Do the rain dance, make the weather wetter. A crown is a head antenna. Call me Imhotep, the architect. I'm clever, break a temple down and put it back together. I remember I was royalty, from the soil where the oil be. Never let the bigger man in me grow from the little boy in me. Been a victim of my loyalty, let my ego kill the joy in me. That's what ended up destroying me. I forgot the Lord anointed me. I forgot that I was God. I forgot that I was free. I forgot that I was king of the jungle until I remembered I'm me. She forgot that she was God. She forgot that she was free. She was stuck up in this slumber so long she forgot she was